Next candlestick, single candlestick pattern is called a paper umbrella. Okay. Now I don't want to keep any surprises here. I would explain it on my side, from my side, because time is less. We need to cover more, and I would try my best to cover as much as I can. Now, an umbrella generally looks like this, right? It could also have a small, upper shadow like this as well. So ideally, how would you wish your paper umbrella pattern to look like? Like this only, right? Now, what I'm confused with is the color. So is the color important or not? So whether it is red color or green color. Now, looking at the size of the real body, what do you think? Color matters? Does the color matter? Looking at the size of the real body, do you really feel color matters here? No, the real body is so small that the color is insignificant. I had told you this real body is almost going to be like a spinning top. I mean, it is going to be as small as a spinning top. Have you not seen a hammer? Right? You have seen a hammer, right? A hammer is almost like this, right? This is how a hammer is. So what is the size of the real body? It's so small, isn't it? So the color of a paper umbrella is not at all important. Okay. Then how do you decide which one is a hammer and which one is a hanging man? I'll tell you how you decide. Okay. Now, whether a hanging man or a hammer, it will be like this, which means rule number one, the real body will be at the top. And you know now this is a bullish candle anyways. Remember initial discussion which I did today, that if the real body is at the top, it has a long lower shadow, then it is bullish, right? Now, naturally, this is a bullish candle. Okay, naturally, this is a bullish candle. Now, rule number two, color is not important. Rule number three, that this size should at least be twice, 2x of the size of the real body, which means this is not a hammer. Okay, this is a hammer, this is a hammer, this is a hammer, but it should be at least two times the lower shadow should be at least two times of the real body. Now, in a hammer, we may also have a small upper shadow like we have in an umbrella. Okay, that may be possible, that may not be possible. If you don't have, then it's better. If you have, then also it's okay, does not matter. Okay, then in that case, this any paper umbrella pattern or a Japanese candlestick with a long lower shadow and real body at the top, can you call it a paper umbrella? Yes, we can call it a paper umbrella. Then when is it called a hammer and when is it called a hanging man? See, normally when a hammer is put in, it's always put in like this. You hit a hammer like this, isn't it? Right? Now, after a downtrend, a series of downtrend candles and a downtrend, prominent downtrend, if you see a paper umbrella like this, where the color does not matter and the real body is at its top and a long lower shadow, it is called a hammer. Okay, it is called a hammer and it represents bullishness, which means that at this point, definitely there must have been a support which the stock has got. Okay, and from there, the stock managed to close up, the bulls took charge. So during the day, what would have happened? The stock would have opened anywhere here, then it would have gone down and finally it would have gone up to close anywhere, either here or here, right? So at the end, it was the bull who had the upper hand and this was the support. Naturally, what will you expect the next day? The stock to go up. That is what I'll expect. So when you see a paper umbrella pattern after a downtrend, it is a hammer. And when you see, and this color does not matter, okay? And when you see after an uptrend, a paper umbrella pattern coming up, then can you not see that it's almost looking like a man hanging himself on a tree? Hanging man, imagine. Isn't it? A man has just kind of hanged himself, right? See, now you understand, right? So after an uptrend, if you see a same hammer, color not important, okay? Same thing which looks like a hammer can now be called a hanging man. See, a hammer is bullish. That's why the name is bullish. I mean, hammer is something where you hit and you go ahead, right? I mean, you have seen when a new stock is listed, they hammer it, they bell it, right? Similarly, when there is negativity, you hang yourself. So a hanging man represents that downtrend is going to start, right? So the same paper umbrella of coming after an uptrend is hanging man. Coming after a downtrend is hammer. Now, in case of hammer, you don't have a doubt. So you don't need a confirmation candle the next day. But in case of a hanging man, you know that this is otherwise a bullish candle because the real body is at its top. So next day, you can actually, before shorting, you can wait for a red candle. So suppose there was an uptrend and then you saw a hanging man happen, whether red or green, whatever. After that, next day, you can wait for a red candle to appear and then next day you can short, which means a hanging man can be supported by a confirmation candle. Okay. But does a hammer need a confirmation, or you can directly buy the next day? You can directly buy the next day. Why? Because in itself, this one is a bullish candle. So you don't need a confirmation the next day that the next day the stock has to open in green so that you are buying it. No, it is already a bullish candle. This is not a bullish candle, it's a bearish candle, this one here. So it's better to wait for a confirmatory red candle next day so that it tells you that yes, you are correct. This is a hanging man. The pattern has been successful and now the stock is down to bunkers. Okay, that's the difference between a hammer and a hanging man, and which one needs a confirmation and which one doesn't. That also I've told you. Basically, hammer and hanging man both are reversal patterns. They cannot be continuation patterns. If it comes here, then also it's going to take the stock up. If it comes here, then also then the stock is going to go down. So this is hammer. This, if it appears here, it is going to be called a hanging man. This will have a candlestick with small real body, long lower shadow. Real bodies are near the top of the trading range.